Okay, good evening, Joshua. I'm sure you can hear me. Joshua, can you hear me? Joshua, Joshua. Um, um, Deriva, please can you hear me? Let me allow your mic. All right, let us begin. I'm hoping that you can hear me, but I wish I could get feedback from you, Joshua. Joshua, okay, let's begin the class. um, by the looks of things, I don't think we are going to have the number we used to have. So let's just begin the class. All right. Um, the last time we met, that's for me. I think we were at section 3 or so, or 4. I don't know if I'm right. Let me quickly check. Yes, I think we were at section 4, where we did look at certain things like the library, the data type, and declaring data types, and all. That's declaring memory location, identifier, or a name of a variable, and all. How to declare a constant, what the C out and C in, how to follow end line, and those end line and backward slash n and backward slash t, they are called escape sequences. We did. But Mona, if I can be heard, give me a thumbs up. Let me see. I'm allowing the mics, but it's not working. I don't know why. But if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Let me see, Mona. All right, all right. I'm trying to allow the mic. I keep allowing, but it's not working. I'm really trying, but I don't know why. Anytime I try to allow your mic, it's not allowing. I don't know what settings they have done with the link and all. But as you can see, I'm allowing it, but it's not working. I don't know why. So today we are going to quickly continue from where I took off, and I don't know the number of two, that is Mona and myself. And I don't really, and I'm not even able to allow your mic. So whether you are having any problem or whatsoever, I can't actually tell. I can't actually tell. So let me see. Let me try allow it again. It's still not working. So I don't know if the chat part is also working. Is the chat section working? Try. Let me try it and see. If it's working, you can send me a message there. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's working. I think it's working. Yeah, I think the chat section is working. So, Mona, if you can hear me, you can send me a message there on what you wanted to tell me. Let us continue. So, the last time we met on my end, we did look at all this. We even look at, I said I will further explain what a static cast is and all. We did look at all these things in our coding environment, okay? And I really didn't talk much about here because there were certain things that even if I spend the whole day talking about it here, I will still show you how they are done in the coding environment practically. So okay, man, I just went to the coding environment and then worked on that. Okay, okay. So that is that. Are you alright? Give me a moment. Give me a moment. So let's continue. All right. I don't know. I'm trying to allow mics here, but it's not working. Let me allow mic here. It's not working. I don't know what the problem is. Okay. So then apparently to the chat section it's not working. So I don't know what the problem is, but maybe I'm not really that fully in charge of allowing mics and all. Um, We really did a lot in our coding environment. So let's do a quick recap. Right? We all have some preparations to do towards the upcoming exam, so I'm not really going to keep you that much. All right, but I'm going to cover everything I have to cover today as quick as I can. So let's quickly do a quick recap of section 4, then we jump into section 5. All right, it's not really anything difficult. We are just going to look at a selection structure, that is to specifically say the how, the if, and then the else, how booleans and all work, and all nested ifs and all. We are going to have a look at all that. Okay, and then at the end of today you should know what a okay, we will look at that as well. Then I think that will be that for this section. If there will be any questions, you can. All right, let's continue. So, during our section 4, we did look at so many things like a library. What is a library and what it does? Okay, we all right. Depending on the coding environment you are using, maybe if I want to type C out and I type CO, then it's kind of like giving me some options to pick from, just to not to make it the coding quite easy. I just pick the selection and so that I know to type everything. All right. So this the libraries. Okay. We also looked at the space in which we have to type our code that is meant to be executed or run. All right. Then we also looked at typing variables or declaring memory locations inside this space we are supposed to type our code. That is declaring variables and constants inside there. We also even went a little bit further to look at, we didn't really look deep into it, but we did touch on booleans as well and how the logic behind how booleans work. But today we are going to work more on booleans. Okay, and we are going to see how it works. Okay, so we are going to be doing ifs and nested ifs as I stated earlier. So let's quickly jump into the slides of section 5. All right, and then let's take some one or two things there before. And I told you when we started our DCIT104 that code has three structures. Okay, we have the, who can remind us? Oh, sorry, I forgot, I can't unmute you. But one of the structures is the selection structure. We have the sequence and all. So the selection structure has to do with some portion of the code being executed based on certain conditions if they are met. Okay, with the sentence, with me using the sentence if should tell you that when you are coding, all right, it's not everything that is going to be executed. All right, if the user behind the program is inputting certain conditions, then certain codes are going to be selected, and the rest that do not meet that particular conditions are going to be ignored, like as if they don't really exist in the program. But you see them being executed when somebody else also meets those conditions per their input. So this is what we mean by selection structure. Okay, this is trying to say that it's not all the codes that are necessarily going to be executed. All right, it's just some portion of it based on certain inputs or conditions that has been set. Okay, so that's all about selection structure. It's not anything too much to worry about. And then we are going to look at the objectives. We are going to learn how to include a selection structure in a studio code and in a flowchart. Alright, we are also going to look at how to code a selection structure using if statements, as I stated earlier. That will be our main focus for today. And we are also going to include comparison operators in a selection structure, which is very, very necessary. All right, we have to compare certain things for certain conditions to be met. Okay, if they are, how do you know that the condition has been met? You have to do something called a comparison. Right, if you don't compare, then how do you know that the person has met the condition you have set? Okay, you have to compare. So that's where we are going to learn the comparison operators. There are not really many, so you don't really have to worry yourself about capturing all. No, there are not many. Within a blink of an eye, just having the understanding of them, you'll be able to capture all of them into your head. And it's not every time you are going to need all of them after all. Right? There are some that you will not be needing at all. Okay. Then we're also going to learn how to include logical operators, right, in our selection structure. Logical operators are different from comparison operators. Okay, logics has to do with and or and exclusive or and or, those logic gates. Okay, so if you do a certain comparison and you want to compare that comparison to another comparison, all right, we normally use this and or statement. Maybe the person is a male, you compare it. It is true that the person is a male, and you want to compare it again to something, saying that if the person is a male, all right, and then the person is of a legal age, then this. So when those two conditions are met, then we are saying that the logic has been met. Okay, so I'll show you the logical operators and how they also run. Okay, then we're also temporarily going to convert a character to either an uppercase or a lowercase. This thing was with this one, to be able to do this, we have to include another library. All right, and we will look at that as well. Okay, so far we looked at these libraries. We looked at include IOStream, and then we also include, that's the IOStream is for the see out and then the scene and all. All right, then we also learned how to what do we call it? We also included the library called strings. Okay, that helps the program to identify strings and their nature. Okay, we are going to learn about another inclusion of another library. We also looked at is it CMath library, include CMath as well, which helps you to perform certain operations like raise to the power, square root and all right. Today we are going to learn how to include a certain library that will help us to convert a character, okay, into either an uppercase or a lowercase. Okay, we are going to look at that. Okay, that is if time across us that opportunity. If it doesn't, no problem. We'll look at that in our next meeting. All right. Now, when it comes to decision makings or making decisions, all right, with only the sequence structure, all instructions are executed in order. I remember we spoke about the structures. Okay, so we have the repetition, the selection, and then the what, the sequence. And it is telling you that if you are using only the sequence selection structure, sorry, the sequence structure, all the codes are going to be executed in a particular order. The emphasis is on the fact that all the instructions will be executed. But with a selection structure, all right, it's not everything, as I stated, it's not everything is going to be executed based on some conditions. Okay, you can see it here. All right, if those conditions are met before the selection of the instruction is what is executed, it's that simple. All right, it's like as if you are those who, I don't know your field of work, but for mine, I always try to use mine as an example. All right, but for mine, I kind of like set certain aims for the children to achieve, right? If I'm a class teacher and I'm in a class, I've been assigned to a particular class, I don't care the condition of the class before I came in, all right? I set certain aims that each child is supposed to meet. And if a particular child meets that particular target, then a certain kind of treatment is given to the child, all right? So you get to, eat for my bowl. You get it, like you get to eat after me and all. Like certain, if you are performing very well, all right, certain condition, even if I get food and all, like it's you. If I need any assistance in something, you are the person I'll call. I kind of like lift you very high in the class, right? And this makes you some to be envied. Okay, and you can see that those that are envying that individual are not meeting it's obvious they are not meeting that particular condition I've set for them. You understand? And if any one of them is supposed to meet, then the person will join that already person who is always there with me who has met the condition already will join that individual in the glory. You understand what I'm trying to say? So that is all about selection structures. Okay. So now a selection structure's condition must be phrased as a Boolean expression. And that was what I was trying to do in our last meeting, but I realized that time was not really helping us, so I was in a hurry. All right. So I didn't really touch on it very well. But today we will. How Booleans do work. So I'm literally going to focus more on booleans, because to work on selection structures, all right, certain things has to be true or false. If the thing is true, then you have met the condition. If it is false, look, there's another condition there for you, fine, but if there isn't, go your way. All right, that's as simple as that. Okay, so we have the single alternative selection structure, and then we have the dual alternative selection structure. Okay, we are going to look at those ones as well. So set of instructions is executed only if condition evaluates to true. So this is a single alternative selection structure. Then for the dual alternative selection structure, okay, it executes different sets of instructions based on whether condition evaluates to true or false. All right. So we are really going to be working with the dual's alternative selection structure, because we are going to be dealing with both true or false. Okay, but with a single, maybe if I'm talking about one particular gender, I'm talking about only the males, or I'm coding something for only the males. That's when normally the single selection, or maybe in the educational environment, I'm coding a program for only the student that had A. All right, that's when I will actually be need. It's normally for only. Like you see, that's why they said only. Okay, so it's for things that are only people that meet a certain particular condition, that condition alone. All right. If that one is what you are doing, then the single will work for you. But if you are going to be working with different people from different views and different inputs and all, then a dual is the best for you. All right, let's look at what a truth path is. All right, a truth path is instructions followed when condition executes to be true. So we are going to look at the truth path as we code our if else statements. Okay, we are going to realize that because something is true, this part was followed and this part was ignored. All right, and then the first part is instructions followed when condition evaluates to be false. Now, but let me say this before we get there. All right, the fact that an instruction might be false does not mean that it's not going to be executed. All right, sometimes my condition might be that I want it to be false before it will be executed. So please don't really get that the false is for it to not be executed. Let's understand this now. All right, maybe the conditions I am setting, I actually want it to be false before it to be executed. Please, are we following? If we are following, like I can't mute the mic, but a thumbs up will do for me. All right, sometimes you need something to be false for you to, all right, yeah. So if you are following, I don't know why I can't really unmute. I know. But if a thumbs up is available, you can give me one so I know that you've okay. Richard, thank you very much. Let me try unmute your mic. It's not working. I've tried. So let's continue. We are going to look at decision makings. Okay, so as for decision makings, I'm not going to really be doing all this thing as in here. I'm just going to be like a bit practical with you, right, for you to understand. And when you read this thing, you realize that is exactly what I'm saying. Okay, now in this life we make decisions. Okay, and then we learn this thing in the cons that there's something called trade-off, and then opportunity cost and all. All right, why is this thing necessary? All right, because in this life, the actual value of something is not how much you really paid for it. All right, the actual value of something is what you had to give away to in order to what, to attain it. All right, it's not everything that is always about money. Sometimes you have to give away your time to be able to achieve something. You understand? Sometimes you have to give away even your mobile phone to be able to achieve something. Social media to be, that kind of sacrifices you are making is due to something called decision making. All right, you have to make a decision, and making a decision, definitely something is going to be affected one way or the other. I've never seen a decision that is made that favors everybody. All right, you might, as I told you even the last time, that's why there's a need, or there might be a need, all right, for your code to be modified, right, when it's being presented. Maybe because you might think that the solution you have provided is the solution, but it might go a long way to also affect somebody. right? So the best thing to do is that you always try and just check your after all, you also try to modify in cases where they are necessary. All right, and we do this modification because certain decisions were made and it might favor or might not favor somebody. So it's always important we get to know that. That's the whole purpose of this if and else statement and comparison operators and all right, we have to compare the value of something, and we call something scale of preference. All right, if I'm supposed to buy a mobile phone, all right, and I'm comparing it to buying a radio, and I realize that both of these prices are the same, all right, or the prices of these devices are the same, all right, and I realize the benefits that will come alongside having a mobile phone, all right, rather than having a radio, then I have to make a decision. Okay, and that decision is what we are talking about. And don't think the decision is the money you paid for the mobile phone. All right, the decision is you giving away the radio in order to attain the mobile phone based on certain conditions or benefits. Okay, so that's all we are talking about. Let's not really waste time on that. Okay, I'm sure you really get what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this one also talks about a certain condition, all right, followed only when the condition is true. So if this one, I will not really, as I said, everything will be done in the coding environment. So I really not love to waste time on it here. All right, when we are doing it in the coding environment, you will appreciate it. Now, flow charting a selection structure. Flow charting a selection structure is something we are coming to learn next. All right. Now we said that we are going to have a little bit of recall from chapter 2. Okay, from chapter 2, let's do a bit of recall. All right. Now we say that the oval or the oval shape is for the start and then the stop. Okay. Then the rectangle was for process symbols. All right. Then the parallelogram was for input and output symbols. Okay, so during the processing sector, that's when you are going to be using your rectangle. We are talking about flowchart here, right? And then you are going to use your parallelogram for the input and then the output aspect, okay, of your flowchart. And this thing is something we looked at in chapter 2. Okay, now the diamond symbol is also called the decision symbol. This is reintroducing another thing into our flow chart. Okay, we are going to introduce a diamond symbol. All right, we spoke about the oval, the rectangle, and then the parallelogram. All right, we are going to include the diamond symbol for the purpose of selection structure. Okay, so used to represent conditions or decisions in selection. Okay, and repetition structure. So we'll talk about repetition structure some other time. Right, that is when a certain condition is not met but it must be met, then a repetition has to come in. All right, if that condition is not met but must be met, then there is a need for a repetition. Okay, then selection structure has one flow in leading in and two leading out. So T, all right, the T line leading out points to true path, and then the F line leading out points to the false path. We are going to see it in this diagram, so let's quickly look at it. Okay, so let's appreciate the diagram. Let me increase the size so that you see it much better. Okay, so they said that problem specification, is it pets, whatever this name is, wants a program that displays an employee's weekly gross pay given the number of hours worked and hourly pay rate. Sorry, employees working more than 40 hours are paid an additional one half of their hourly rate for the hour over 40. So we are going to look at this flow chart to repeat. So we have a start as usual. Then we are going to enter hours and rates. Remember what the parallelogram is for. This is it. Where is it? Parallelogram is for input and output. Okay, so whenever you are seeing out or you are seeing in something, we use the parallelogram in the flow chart to represent that. Then the rectangle is for the processing. All right, and addition and subtraction and assigning things and all right. So we take the input of the hours and then the rate, and then we multiply it together and we assign it to gross. Okay, so this process going on here, the processing aspect here, all right, to determine the gross pay, weekly pay of the employee, all right, is a process, so it's happening inside the rectangle. Now let's see the introduction of the diamond. All right, so we are saying that this is like a particular decision or a condition, an argument. Hours over 40. If the person did not work hours over 40, all right, this part is what they are talking about, that the F part will be executed. But if the person worked hours over 40, then another you see this is a rectangle, this part is another rectangle. So when it takes the truth part, based on the fact that the person, when we check, the person worked hours over 40, this is the decision part. All right, that's why it is inside the rectangle. It can be true or it can be false. So it comes with two parts. Okay, so if it is true, then this part is taken. If it is false, this part is also taken. If it is false, then we just go ahead and display the person's what gross weekly gross what wage. Okay, and then remember what we are calculating for. All right, but if it is true that the person worked hours over 40, then something must be done. Then they said that the gross, all right, the new gross will be the gross, that's the normal gross, all right, plus the hours minus 40 in brackets times the rate, right, all divided by what, by 2. All right, so when this calculation is done, or when this process is done, then the part again is taken to display that person's what, because then we stop. All right, we stop. Remember what this parallelogram is for. It's for input and output. So this is going to display, so it's output. All right, the same thing goes here, almost the same idea. Okay, so we have a start, then we enter hours and rate, then this part, all right, a certain condition is set here that can be either be false or it can be true. Okay, then the hours less than or equal to 40. So if it is false, this is done, and if it is true, this is also what, done. All right, and at the end of the day, the result will be displayed. Okay, so it's that simple, right? We have just introduced this decision or selection path, okay, based on whether it can be true or false. All right, because we are creating a decision now, and that decision can either be true or false. And coding a selection, so we need an if and else what statement, and then the syntax is here. You state that you start by typing if, then you create the condition that needs to be met inside a parenthesis. Okay, when you do that, then if that condition is met, then you see a curly bracket here, then whatever is inside that curly bracket will be executed. Okay, so it can be one or more statements or truth part. Okay, then we have else. Okay, but before we go to else, I want us to let us acknowledge what lies between if and else. What lies between if and else is something called else if. Okay, this is used to create dual alternative. Do you remember? Dual alternative is from here. Yeah, dual alternative selection structure. Okay, this else if, okay, that's what it normally does. Okay, what it does, that it creates dual alternatives. Okay, so else if, like normal statement, like you talking to somebody, and maybe you are sending a child to go and get something, all right, and you say that if you get this, fine, else if you get this, fine, or if you don't get any of them, that's when you normally use the else. Okay, so else, when if you don't get, I'm sure I'm allowed to speak to you. All right, say kofa we breme one who fa we, that's else if, when who fa we, else if, when who fa we, but okona when ni na, and then that's when we get the else. All right, so okona when ni na, if you go and you don't get any of them, then this one will do. Okay, so that's the else. So with this one, we don't normally create a condition. We don't create a condition. No, we don't create a condition for it. Are you okay? But with the else if and then the if, we create conditions for them. Okay. The keyword if and condition are required. All right, this one we don't need to waste time on it. As I said, I'll show you everything. And then this is what they are trying to tell you, that the code in a curly bracket to, or the statement block will be executed. This one too, we don't really have to spend much time on it, because I'll do everything in the coding environment, right? So this is the syntax. You can see it in the picture here. right? So the if, then the condition, then I don't know why they didn't bring their brackets to hold the code to be executed. I don't know which version of this one they were using, but it's not really that modern for me. I'm sure the example 3 is much, yeah, yeah. But even with this one, we don't use this one anymore. We will look at it. Okay, so we don't do it too. I don't remember the last time I saw somebody type this double quotation marks and this quotation thing, and then, or what do we call it, comment, sorry, and then ended with it and if. Okay, so these are the comparison operators. I will not use this place to explain. I have some other ones there that I will be using to explain. So when we get there, I will open that section and I'll use it to explain. So these are the comparison operators. um yeah, so that is it. So let's not waste time. Can we just, if you agree with us, jumping into, before we come to swiping, that one is, we are going to introduce another what do we call it, library and all. We have not gotten here. So if you agree with us, now going into our coding environment to start real business, you can give me a thumbs up so that I see the number of people that are agreeing with that. So we move. It's your reactions, so your reactions. Okay, Emmanuel, thank you. Okay, Richard, thank you. Then you have two now. Emmanuel again. Uh, I really wish we okay. I think a hand raising will also do. That will let me know that, because we are 12 here, including myself. I want us to know that all of us are cool with what has been said, because I cannot mute your mic for some reason. Emmanuel, you can unmute yourself. I think your mic has already been unmuted, so you can unmute yourself. Your mic has been allowed, Emmanuel. I don't know how, but anyway, let me allow Emmanuel. You can unmute and speak. Okay, I think that I guess okay. Um, so the hand raising was for. Oh, okay, sorry. The hand raising was for letting us know the number of people who are ready for the coding environment now. So can we, let's do that again? Sorry, I thought you had a question. Um, okay, we have Emmanuel. I think two people hands are up now. Emmanuel Banini. Banini is also in agreement to that. Um, who else? And so the majority goes, I think, okay, please keep your hand up. Okay, we have 5 people in agreement, which is still lesser. Please, let's involve ourselves. Okay, please. Because I can't move if the majority is against me moving to the coding environment. I'm here to make you understand. That's why you are here. All right. So if you are all agreeing that let's go, then please show by hand. If not, we are just going to continue with the slides and like that. Yeah, we know. We know. I'm not sure we get time to go there. Okay. Let's continue with the slides then. Then the number of people hands that are up are 3 now, and I don't think that is the majority here. So let's just continue with the slides. Thank you very much for the feedback, the reactions. Thank you. You can continue with the slides now. All right, so let's continue with the slides. With that, then let's go into let's just talk about the comparison operators. Okay, as I wanted to switch. No, this is something else. Let's go to let's code. No, no. Design together. No. Steady notes. Yes, this one. Yeah, there we have it. We are going to look at comparison operators. These are some of the libraries I was talking about the last time, and then what they are actually used for. And then we spoke about IO stream. I think we touched a little bit on CMAP. String is, as I stated, is it help us to do certain things with strings without including this libraries. Certain things like storing tests, okay, concatenation of strings. That is actually using the addition sign to combine two or more strings together. You learn that one, right? That it won't be possible. Okay, you can actually concatenate strings, okay, with the addition sign. Then finding the length of a string, all right, then we extract substrings and compare strings. We can't be able to do that if you don't actually include this library, all right. Now let's go straight to the comparison operators. So these are the comparison operators. There they are, these ones, all right. But before that, let's acknowledge assignment operators, all right. These are used to assign a value to a given memory location, okay, or a stated or a declared memory location. So this is the equal to, we are all familiar with that. This is the plus or equal to. This means that whatever number is found here is going to be added to the initial value here and then assigned back to the container. All right, so this is going to be a 5 plus 3, and then it's going to be assigned as an 8 to x. So therefore x will assume the new value of 8. I think the last time we spoke about all this with assignment operators. The comparison, this is what it does. It compares here what is in the container x, okay, and says that is it the same. Not like as if it's not assigning it, it's comparing. Assigning something is different from comparing something. So it checks if it is the same as what is inside the container y, right? And if that is true, then this will be declared as a truth statement. Okay, so it is true if x, all right, is equal to y. Okay, so if x is the same as y, in other words, okay, good. Then we also say that if s is not the same as y, this is how to use not, this exclamation mark here, right? It is how to type not, okay, in your coding environment, the exclamation mark here, right? So in sentence we say if x is not equal to y, that's if x and y are not the same, then the statement is true. All right, we just compared. And we are saying that if s is greater than y, then the statement is true. If x is less than y, then it is true. If s is greater than or equal to y, that's what we are saying here, greater than here or equal to y, then the statement is true. If x is now less than or equal to y, then the statement turns out to be true. So these are just the comparison operators we have out there. They are not anything too difficult to understand. Okay, somebody still has a hand up. Let me see. Mr. Banin, you can speak. I think your mic is already active, so you can speak. Please come again.
Can you share this information with us after the class?
I can. I didn't really know that you were interested in this one, but I actually made this thing from the slides. Okay, I just made my own personal this one from the slides, right? So if you are in need of it, why not? I will share it with you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, so I will share it with you. And I think inside there, I left. I don't know if I left an assignment or so. It was for a particular a group I have, right? That I was really having some one-to-one lesson with them, and it's really fun. It was really fun, right? But nowadays I'm not able to meet them because of some one or two reasons. So my apologies to them if any of them is here. I know one of them or more of them is here, so forgive me. Okay, but I think we will make time and have. I don't know if it's possible, but after the our paper, we can maybe have a little face to face or something. All right, then I render a proper apology to my members and then remove. Okay, sorry about that. So this is it. Okay. Let's continue with the slide because I actually sorry, don't blame me. Right? Yeah. Now we have 10 people here. Right. That's what I see on my screen, and I wanted us to go into the coding environment, but the majority did not vote for that. So I think we have to still continue with the slides. As I said, I'm here for you. All right. So whatever you decide on is what I do. I can't just come in and rattle whatever I want to say and then go my way. At the end of the day, you are also online here because there is something you want to benefit, all right? And I can't go against that. Okay. So this is all what the comparison operators was talking about from what I showed you. The same thing here, all right? Literally the same thing here. All right. For the swapping, I don't want to really talk about it now. Right, to swap something from numeric values. Okay, fine. Let's talk about it, but it will really eat into our time because it entails a lot. So let's talk about it. Um, let's go. So we have talked about the comparison operators. Okay, now let's talk about the swapping numeric values. Now,
So
example.
can we move to the coding environment? That will explain it more better than maybe using
Yeah,
this.
I actually came to your doorsteps and then I said let us vote to the moving of the coding environment. But I said, Minya Nipa 5 was SMP out of Nipa
But
30.
that one there, maybe if you ask in the other hand, maybe they will not even raise their hands up. So just consider and go to the coding environment. That will explain it better. Because if explaining like does not make it clear, or maybe the practical will make it clear.
All right. And I'm sure I don't know I stand to be corrected, but since he I don't know if I can't say he's speaking for all of us though, but I'm sure we all agree. I think we can all give a thumbs up if you agree with what he's saying. All right. I think a thumbs up is not really blocked. Okay, it's active. So you can give a thumbs up if you agree with what he's saying. All right. Okay then. Let's go then. Let's go into the coding environment. I'm sure by now your environment is ready and set for coding. So let's do that. As I say, I will not be wasting much of your time this evening. I'll try and make everything as simple as possible. And then we move because we are all preparing towards an exam. Okay, so I'll not waste much of your time. So let me quickly, should I click this one? Okay, I won't clean but I'll clean the structure. No, I'll not clean the containers. Wow, we did all these things the last time. Wow. Ooh, this is a lot. We did all this. We did all this. No, we are not the ones that did all
But
this.
this, I think it's easy for your personal.
Yeah. It looks quite familiar to me. So let me let me open another one. I think that one is in the new folder. Yeah, I think I didn't choose the right folder. Let me choose the right folder and see. That's C plus plus here. Yeah, it's this one. It's untitled. I remember now. This is it. This is what we looked at the last time. This one. Yeah. Yeah, it's this one. I think I copied it and I placed it in a group after the class. So let's go. I won't clean much here because I'll be using literally almost everything, the same thing here. But for the purpose of those, people might say I didn't join. I didn't join. So let's just take a moment and then explain what we are seeing here. So we created variable memory locations. All right. One with an identifier of full name, one also with an identifier of gender, one with marital status, and then one with age. Then we created a boolean that is called is married. Okay, I think this one too. We also created another boolean here, but we later moved it here. It's called is male. Okay, so what happened is that I think we even did this if and else, but as I stated it, I didn't really touch on it. So I will just clear it like as if it did not exist. Okay, but let me just clear everything. Please give me a moment. Good evening. Sorry about that. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Sorry, really sorry. Let's continue. So these were the memory locations that we created earlier. We are going to use them, okay? And then as for the booleans, I'll prefer that we create them when we need them. Okay, so let's go straight into accepting user input. Okay, so we are going to see out a certain message as we were doing the last time. I think let me just bring them back. Right. Or is there any for us to type everything again? I don't think to waste our time, right? So let's just appreciate what they say. We are seeing out to the user. Just let me just call this person back. We are seeing out to the user what is your full name, all right? And then we are saying that on the same line that this question was asked, you should create a paragraph, all right, on that same line, and then receive the user's name, store it in a container called full name, okay, and then receive everything the user will input, including spaces, using the get line, right? Using the get line property, we learned about that one, right? So everything you are seeing here is a message to the user, all right, and then where it's going to be stored and how it's going to be captured. A message to the user, where it's going to be stored and how it's going to be captured, all the way up to here. Okay, here, all this one. Okay, yeah. And then when it comes to this part, okay, when it comes to this part, this is where the actual logic part comes in. So I'll clear this part rather, and then we'll do some logic selection structure here. Okay, yeah. So, but I think we didn't store anything or ask the user for the age. So we can do age. Okay, so see out. How old are you? I didn't check. I didn't read though. You think so? How old are you? All right. Then we create something like a column. All right. Then on the new line or on the same line, we can receive the users. Sorry about that. Then we terminate it. Then we see in this. Sorry, I'm getting again. Good evening. Can you hear me? Network. Let me call. All right. Then you see in this. Okay, so we are going to see in where are we going to store what a person will input here. Right, so that is what we have just done, and we can see I didn't use get line because I'm looking for I'm storing it in something that has been declared as an integer. If it was a string, then I'll be using get line. Okay, but what's going to be stored is going to be stored as an integer, so I just went straight forward like that. Okay, now we are come to create certain conditions based on this user's input. Okay, so for instance, maybe the title will give to the person and all right, based on these things. Okay, so first of all, let's make a condition to talk about the title we give to the person as either Mr. or Mrs. based on the input of the person as whether the person is married or not. So we are going to do that. Okay. But first of all, we should know we have to understand the fact that we have to create a condition, a boolean. Okay, as we stated earlier, selection structures, you have to create a boolean. Hello. Hold on. Please hold on for me. Hello. Again, apologies. All right, let's go now. But please, do we understand what is going on here? Do we understand it? Show me a thumbs up if you understand what's going on in the code that we have already typed, or if there's a need for us to type everything again too, which I don't really think is a good idea. But if there's a need, fine, because we did that in our okay. So a thumbs up showing me that you understand. I've gotten one reaction, so let's continue. Okay, Emmanuel too has given me up a reaction, so let's continue. So, that is it. All right, that is what is going to be. Now we're going to create a selection structure, and these selection structures are going to be executed based on what the user will input. Okay, as I stated earlier, it's not everything that is going to be executed. All right, but first let's create a boolean, something to store a bool. All right, and first of all, we are coming to check if the person is married or not. All right, so we are creating a boolean container to store whether the person is married, okay, or not. Okay, now this boolean can either store two things, either a true or a false. Okay, it can be either a true or a false. So let's create a condition that will either make it true or false. We are saying that if, sorry, we are saying that if, all right, the user says that we are going to create the argument, then you know where we create our argument, all right, inside this parenthesis. We are saying that if the user inputted this for marital status, okay, let me just copy this here because I don't want to make mistakes in the typing of the name. So if you say that, oh, sorry, come on, sorry about that. We are saying that if marital status, control V, all right, if marital status, when we compare what the user inputted, oh, good. If the person inputs this for marital status, okay, remember we gave two things that the person can either be single, three, sorry, married or divorced. Okay, so if the person, we are saying that you are creating a condition that if the person entered maybe a single M, or maybe that's M, capital M, all right, then this is where the logic operator comes inside. Please let's follow this very carefully. I say that if the person, we go and compare, remember the comparison operator, sorry, we go and compare this, what is stored inside is per what the user will input and it will be stored inside it. Okay, when we go and compare and we check that the person inputted this inside it, or okay, we can say or this is the logic operator for all. All right, it's right above the enter key. It's right above the enter key, I guess, based on the keyboard. If you're using a normal keyboard, it's right above the enter key. It's called the or logic operator. Okay, or we say that marital status, when we compare, the person inputted maybe a small m. Okay, we can go give another one and say or, all right, if the person for marital status, the person we compare and realize that the person inputted married, maybe full spelling of married, like that. Or maybe the person can even spell married with a small m beginning. All right, so that one too is also can also be a condition that somebody might do. You don't know people, and then nipa a cutlery set. You understand? So you have to make sure that you are free of every blame. So the person spelled married like this. Okay. Then we are saying that if we go and compare what has been stored in marital status and any of these things, I'm sure you remember what the or logic gate is about. Just one of the conditions need to be true for everything inside or the arguments, the whole argument to be true. So even if all of it is false and then just one of it is true, all right, it is true, it's considered as true. Okay, so we are saying that if the person inputted any of these things for marital status, then this is what we are storing, or this is the code going to be executed. And the code going to be executed here is that the boolean container is married, all right, is married, should be equal to true, all right, and we can see it clearly here that the person is married. All right, we can see clearly that the person is married. So if the person entered M for married, small m for married, spells married with a capital M, or the person spells married with a small m, what we are caring about is we don't really care about what the person inputted that much. What we are caring about is that the person tried to say that he or she is married. And if that is so, then the container or the Boolean container is married should be true. Do you understand? All right, are you following? But else, this is where the else if comes in. This is a dual alternative. All right, else if the person can say that I'm not married. Okay, so else if we are creating another argument here. All right, else if marital status. All right, when we go and compare the marital status of the person based on what the person inputted, the person inputted may be single, spells like this, no, just small x, capital X, or marital status. When we go and compare, we saw this inside small s, okay, based on the user's input, or marital status when we went to compare. When we went to compare, the person spelled single like this, right? Or marital status when we went to compare, the person stored or spelled single like this, all right? Then we can say that this thing here that is following right after it, the thing in the curly bracket here should be executed. Okay, and what is going to be executed, we are going to say that it's married, sorry, I'm saying it's married, okay, should be equal to false, because this shows that the person is not what, married. Are you following? You are following? Please a thumbs up if you are following. Okay, all right. All right, thank you for the reaction. So we have stated that if the person, we go and check, we go and compare. Remember what comparison operators are? They just compare, they don't assign, they compare. So we went into the container and checked that what did the person input? The person inputs this, and he went into the container, the person inputs this, the person inputs this, whichever ones of these ones the person inputted, fine. But let's look at the logical part of it. We are using the or. This means that, as I explained, this means that only one of these comparisons after checking turns out to be true, then the entire thing is true. Right? In case we're using end, that means that we're trying to say that all of them have to be true for the outcome to be true or the code to be executed. But I'm just saying that if one of it is true, one of what I've done here is true, then the statement is classified as a true statement. So this thing should be what? Should rather be taken. Do you understand? Good. I can also say else if, again, remember we stated three things. The person can also be divorced. Else if, all right. I can copy this. I can just copy. I like to really copy. I don't really like to type down. Control V here, right? Else if marital status is capital D, small d, divorce spelled with a capital D like that. Divorce spelled with a capital D like that. Then divorce spelled with a small d. And so then we can also arguably say that the person is single, right? Even though he or she was once married, he or she is single now. Okay. So then we can say that, then we can also say that it's married is what? It's false. Are you okay? Then we end it by saying that, we end this thing by saying that else, that means if any of these things is not met, okay, if any of them is not met, sorry, I'm supposed to close this thing with s curly bracket. Okay, it does not have a closing bracket. Yeah, it's supposed to be here. This is it. Good. All right, then let me bring my else right after it. Then else, as I said, we don't create conditions for else. Okay, else, then this is what you are supposed to say. Okay, else then see out to the person, because if the person did not really input any of these things that you have stated here, whether small or that means the person inputted something we are not looking for. So I want you to see out to the person this message, maybe invalid input. Okay, invalid was input. That's what I want you to show the person. Okay, I mean, if the person does not enter any of these things, then show this to the person. Okay, invalid was input. Simple as that. Are we okay? Then we terminate. Remember, I've been terminating every line of code. All right. I've been terminating it. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you're going to meet bugs when you start to run it. Are you okay? So let's take a moment and appreciate what we have done here again. This is a selection statement. All right. Then this one is actually meant to store something into the container boolean is married. All right. So it's going to store true inside there. If this one turns out to be what the person has inputted, it's going to store false inside there if this is what the person inputted, and also going to store false inside there as well if this is what the person was inputted. All right, now let's talk about the person's being of legal age. Okay, let's say what should I say? It's gender. Let's talk about the person's gender. All right, so let's talk about a bool container storing is male. I'm trying to give the person is a male or a female. I think that one's arguably right that we check that. All right, so let's take is male. All right, is the person a male or is a female based on the user input? I wish I could unmute your mics. I've been trying, but it's not working. I wish I could unmute your mics for people to actually contribute to what do you think will be the if else statements or the selection structure statements to store something into is married. Do you understand? Or is male. Sorry, it's male. All right. I think since I'm not able to do it, then I think I have to spoon feed you. Okay, so if the person, remember I come to create an argument. So if you say that the gender the person entered or the container gender is having this inside it, what were some of the things we created for gender? Male and female. Okay, so we created male and female. It can be transgender. We didn't do that one, but we just created male and female. So the person can just enter a capital M representing a male, or we check into the container gender and we realize that the person inputted maybe a small m for it, or we check into the container gender. All right, can check into the container gender and find out that the person actually spelled male like this. All right, it's also allowed. Or we check into the container gender and realize that the person also spelled male like this. If any of this thing is actually met, then we are executing this code. All right, we are going to execute this code inside this thing saying that assign true to is male. Sorry, I'm supposed to type this with a capital M. That's how I declare the container. Okay, the net is male will be equal to what? To true. All right, if the person is a male, then is male is true. Do you understand? Simple as that. But we can also say else if, all right, then we create an argument for it as usual. Else if we check into the container gender, all right, and we compare and realize that the person inputted this, all right, or we check into the container gender, all right, and we realize that the person inputted this. It's quite a long process. Sorry, it's quite a long process. All right, or we check into the container gender and realize that the person inputted. So I don't know. Okay, the person inputted female like this. This is a capital M just to make things even. Okay, you can also check into the container gender and realize that the person maybe did this rather females with a small what this, and if that is so, right, else if that is so, okay, then we are executing this instruction saying that assign this to is male. We are assigning this to is male, right, and that is definitely a false, okay, because this shows that the person is not a male. Are you okay? Then we can end it by saying else. If the person did not really meet any of these conditions, then we just say that else invalid input. Okay, maybe the person see out to the person this message. Okay, we want to see out to the person. Sorry, we want to see out to the person this message. Invalid input. Okay, invalid what input. Simple as that. All right, that's what we want to see out to the person. Are we good? Then we terminate our code as usual. Terminate our code. Are we okay? So this is a selection structure meant to store something into a container. All right, and we know that this is a variable. All right, I've not assigned anything to it yet. All right, and for booleans it's not really advisable unless you are telling that the thing is true or it's false, fine. But if you are going to meet certain conditions of a user input for it to either be true or false, this is how we do it. Okay, so we go and check in what the user has inputted and create certain conditions for it. We say that okay, if the person said capital M, if the person said, or just to symbolize the fact that he or she is a male, then sorry, he is a male, he or she cannot be is a male, so he is a male, then we say that then is male the container is male should be true. All right, the boolean container is male. Else if the person enters any of these things, then we are saying that it should be false. Else if the person did not enter any of these things, then we say that else, then see out to this person this message. Are you okay? As simple as that. I mean, we are going to play with it. You see that based on what we input, some of this code will be selected and some of it will be ignored. Now let's really look at something here. Now I want to see out a message to the person. Let me clear the see outs I've done here. We don't really need this ones. I want to see out a message to the person. All right. I want to see out the message to the person. But this is what we must first think about. Who am I going to give that message to? Is the person a male? Is the person a female? So we are still going deep into creating, we are still going with the creating of these selection structures. All right, as I stated, they are just used to make decisions. So I'm making a decision whilst I'm coding. All right, so right now I've made a decision that if the person inputs any of these for gender or stores any of this into a gender, and I made a decision that the boolean is a male should contain its value as being true. Do you understand? I've made a decision. I can decide that let it contain the value of being false. Nobody really cares. All right, that is a decision I've decided to take. Are you okay? Remember, selection structures are used for making decisions. Okay, and then they create a truth or what a false part. So you can see it clearly here that I've created a truth part here and the false part here. All right, when these conditions are met, this truth part will be executed. When these conditions are met, this false part will rather be what be executed. Okay, as I stated, the fact that it is false does not mean that the code is going to be ignored or not. Maybe that what the person inputted was this, so this is making is false rather being what this part of the code rather being looked at instead of this, because if the person did not input F, I don't know why you should be looking at this. Even though it is true, it's not necessarily the one that's going to be executed. Are we following? So I did something here. I'll just go and show it to you. Let me just try and then okay. We are just going to what do we call it? We are come to check something. Okay, we are come to really check something. We are come to also play along with the person's input for gender. Okay, we are come to check if the person is of legal age. Are we following? We are come to check if the person is of legal age. So we are come to create a book again, and we are going to name the container legal age. Okay, something like this. Okay, then we are not going to store anything inside there. I just come to create the statements for it. So we are going to say if, all right, if the individual enters an age, we are going to create an argument. So if we check in the container age and realize that maybe the person entered this, let's take the person's input for age, okay, is greater than, okay, we are saying that if the person's input for age, okay, is greater than, comparison is going on here, is greater than or equal to, or equal to 18. All right, then the person should be of legal age. Okay, so then we say that legal age legal age then be true. Okay, legal age should then be what? Be true. Okay. That is, if we have created a condition and we are saying that if you go and check what the person has inputted for age, and you realize that the age that the person has inputted, you do a logic with it, and you see that okay, this age is greater than, or you can just initially can just clear this part to it work. You can just say that if age, all right, if the age is greater than or equal to 18, then the person is of legal age. It's still the same thing, right? Just that it has been simplified. I've just reduced the repetition of something in the code and made it quite simple, all right? So we are saying that if the person's age, all right, that's when we go and compare. Remember what this thing is, a comparison operator. If age, the age is greater than or equal to 18, per when we go and compare, all right, then we see that then the person is of what? Of legal what age, all right? Then we can say that else. With this one, I think we can go straight to what? To else. Okay. Else. Then,
Please, I have a question.
okay, you have a question.
So
Huh.
the greater than or equal to, can you put the equal to before the greater than?
No,
Like,
it's like the statement for it is how we also write it. I mean, we don't say equal to or greater than. You know what I mean? For as far as I know, it has been said as greater than or equal to. So that's how you write it. Okay. All right. I don't know whether we put it before it works. I've not tried that before. I just follow the normal way it's been said to also write it. All right. I don't know, but you can try it at your end and see if it works. Okay. If it works, you can come back to me. Let me know so that I also add it to my little knowledge I have. Okay. All
okay,
right. So let's
thank you.
continue. All right. Let's continue on that. So, in other ways, we can also do it this way. As I said, I'm trying to work with these two at the same time. All right. Now, I've done this thing before. I think that when I was opening, that's what I saw. I realized that I've done this thing before. All right. And I did is married here, mail true. I did all that we just done. Then with this one, what I did is that I created the legal age this way. This is how I created the Boolean container. Control C. This is how I created the Boolean container and put a control V in here. All right. Then I will come in and explain it from this side. So that means that these particular statements are not going to be needed. Based on these are two ways of doing it too. The first thing what I did earlier is wrong. Right, but I think this one will be much simpler for us if we look into it. I said that the bool container should be true, all right, if the person's age, you see the way I've done it, it's like the if and thing that I just did. It's the same sentence if you look at it. All right, I'm saying that as if you see the person's age, all right, the person's legal age is the bool container, all right, and this part of the thing is the true or false part of it. Okay, so this thing checks, it goes and compare, checks the container age and realize that okay, what the person inputted, is it greater than or equal to 18? Then if this statement is true, then it assigns true to this legal age container. It does not assign what you are seeing here to this legal age. It is assigning, that's what the equal to is. All right, it is assigning this comparison, goes and make this comparison, and if it is true or false, it assigns it to this, it assigns it to the container. All right, so that's the shortened form of what I was just trying to do with the if and else. Because I was doing selection structure, I just wanted you to see that, but this is also a very simpler way of doing it. I created a bool container that can only store a true or false statement, a true or false outcome, sorry, and then I checked, I created a comparison that is supposed to end up being true or false. And when if it is true, assign to the container, and if it is false, to assign to the container. What comparison am I doing? I said that go into the container age based on what the person has input. Find out what is there. Is what the person has input, is it greater than or equal to 18? If so, then it means that this is true. If true, assign it to this Boolean container. Please, I hope you are following. If you are, like a thumbs up. All right, so I know that you really get it. I always come back here to see your reactions because they are very important. All right. Otherwise, I will not know what I'm teaching you. You really do understand or not. If you do, like a thumbs up. All right, thank you, Emmanuel. I mean, I can proceed. Okay, let's continue then. Now we are coming to create some if else statements with this. Right, let's go. We are saying that, let's see this. I'm come to see out a particular message to the person, but I took all these informations so that I know who I'm talking to. All right, I make a decision on how I'll send a message to the person. So I'm saying that if the person is of legal age, if the person is of legal age, okay, or and I can say end. Let me use the end. This is the end operator. If the person is of legal age, okay, and the person is a male, sorry, is male. The person is a male. And again, all right, I can say end. Let me just show everything be together. But I can separate it just for clarity if you want. I can separate everything here so that you really get it. All right. We are saying that the person we are doing logics, so we are not doing comparison anymore. We are doing logics, right? We are working with logics now. So we are saying that go into the container and check if what has been stored there is true. Is this one true? Is this one true? And remember, we are working with n, so all of it has to be true before the code is executed. Okay, so when what is being stored here is true or false, true or false, true or false, and it's not comparison. Realize I'm not comparing anything here. I'm actually assigning the true or false over here. All right, so all of it has to be true. I'm working with the containers and what has been stored in the Boolean containers now. Okay, so let's continue. So I can say that based on the input of the person, if the person is of legal age and the person is married or is male and the person is married, remember we created a Boolean container called is married. So it's a capital M. Is married. All right. Then we also say that the person is a male. So it means that if the person is a male and the person is married, he or she is going to hold the title. He is going to hold the title because I said it's a male. He is going to hold the title of Mister. All right. But remember, somebody who is not married to is also called Mister. So we can also say that is married or not married. This is how we do not in. Let me separate it so you get it. This is how we do not exclamation mark. I stated that. Okay, it's not. Sorry, I'm reading it that it's sorry. It's supposed to be here. It's married or it's not married. Okay, so this is it. Or it's not married. Exclamation mark. That's what I mean by it's not married. Okay. So in case you want to know how to do the opposite of what is there, this is it. So if you check and the person is not married means that when we go into the container is married, all right, it means this is the part that it is looking at. The person is not married if the person is inputted single or what divorce. Are you okay? So that's what is going to be focused on. That means that this part of the code for married is going to be what ignored. That is if the person is what not married. But right now we are saying that let the person be either married or what happened. Sorry, forgive my machine. Let me put this one into parentheses. Now explain why I'm putting it into another bracket here or parentheses here. I'll give you the logic behind it. Now the is and or operator works in this. It means that this part is one whole unit. Okay, that needs to be true and compared to this, and then also compared to this. We are saying that in sentence, I'm saying that if the person is of legal age and I said and not all and the person is a male and the person is married or not married, please, are we following? Are we following? Hey, this class today you guys are punishing me pound. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we are following you.
Okay. But what if I don't put this brackets here? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that if the person is of legal age and the person is married and the person is and the person is male and the person is married or the person is not married, in the sense that it checks everything here and sees that it is either true or false, and then takes it as one unit and then compares it as an using the or operator to this, and which can create a whole lot of confusion. So it's better that when these operators, different two operators come into play in one argument, all right, you try and separate them in the terms of the logic you want to create. What I'm trying to say is that whether the person is married or not, that's what I'm saying here. All right, it does not necessarily the person has to be one of these things has to be true or false for this part of the logic to be true. All right, then whatever the outcome might be here, which is definitely going to be a true, because the person can be married or is not married. After all, because I'm using the all logic here, it is true. Are we okay? Whether which outcome it might be, so whether the person is married or not, which is true, compare it to whether the person is a male and the person is of legal age. If so, then I want you to tell the person this message, right? I want you to see out to this person this message. Sorry, I want to see out to this person this message. This is how it's going to be. Welcome. Let's just try and be a bit professional. Welcome. Um, welcome. Then I use the person's full name here. Full name. Because remember, we created a container to accept the person's full name. So that's what we are going to display. Welcome. This, the person's full name. All right. Then full stop, a space, then I think a full stop comes before the space, right? So it displays the person's full name, and right after the name, there's a full stop. Okay, then a space. So welcome, the person's name. All right, but I want us to do something with the person's name. It should hold a title. That was the whole purpose of what we are doing here. We are going to hold a title. Are you okay? Please, are you following? And that is exactly what I did at this side. I want the person to hold a title. So I'm going to type a title alongside the person's name. So I can be like, welcome, Mr. All right. Do you get it? How did I know? How did I know that the person is a Mr.? Because I've created a condition here that if these conditions are met, this part of the code should be run. And it's going to run only if the person is a male, is married or not, and is of legal age. Because if you're not of legal age, I shouldn't be calling you Mr. Are we following? All right, so we say that welcome, Mr. Then the full name of the person. All right, then a full stop after the person's full name, then you continue to sorry, let's just say we are, let me use abbreviation. Oh, we are, is it like this? I think it's like this. Yeah. We are glad. Oh, we are glad to have you at at our driving school. Our driving school. Sorry, full stop. Then we say that you are of legal age. Age to drive. Then maybe we can say good luck. This is a message I want to see out to the person. All right. Good luck. Then probably a new line. I'll use this one because, as I said, I like using this one rather. new line, move the cursor to the new line, then I terminate my code. Okay. So remember, only this part is going to be executed only and only if the person is of legal age, is a male, is married or is not married. Are you following? Now let's come to an else something. What if the person is not of legal age? It's also there. What if the person is not of legal age, but the person is a male? And definitely, if the person is not of legal age, he or she is not married. He is not married. Do you understand? Yes, he is not married. I don't know how you are not of legal age and you are married. Okay, so that one there is a constant, like the person is not married. All right. So let's continue. Let's do that. Let's see how that one will go. So we can say else if, let's create our argument. Else if the person is not of legal age, not exclamation mark, not of legal age. Right, it's not of legal age. All right. The person is not of legal age. Okay. He or she he's a male. Sorry, I don't know. I like saying he or she. He is a male and he's a male. So it's male. The person is a male. Oh, the person is a male. I think I didn't type this. All right. The person is a male. That is, and you see, I said the person is not of legal age. And
Please,
yes,
hello. Please,
come again.
can we? It's not a male.
Oh yeah, we are just trying to follow all the male aspects before we go to the female, so that the
Okay.
code will not be like confusing us. All right.
Yeah.
So that when we're identifying the greetings for the male, we just go and attack this part because we are just dealing with male. Okay.
Yeah.
And as I stated earlier, whether the person is married or not, he or she is a mister. Hey, he is a mister. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right? Looking at the marital status part, but if the person is not of legal age, I'm not sure you'll be calling the person mister. Do you understand? So the
Yeah.
greetings for such a person will be different. And then you have to tell the person something different too, because the person is not of legal age. So he or
Okay.
she
Okay.
is not able to drive. You can't drive. Do you
Yeah.
understand? So
Yeah.
the person is not of legal age. The
Mhm.
person is a and the person is a male, okay? And the person is a male, and then that individual should not be married. So it's not what? Married.
Okay.
Okay. That individual shouldn't be married because not of legal age. Are you following?
Yeah.
So then, if that is so, then this condition inside there should be executed. We are seeing now to the person this message. Um, we can say sorry. Start with a sorry, sorry, comma, you are not of legal age to drive. Then you bring the person's full name. Let's put a space here so that it separates the person's full name. Then you say full name. Okay. So after the message, you are not sorry, you are not of legal age, maybe Asante or something, or the person Asante Felix. Do you understand? The person's name will follow afterwards. Okay. Then we can continue to say that wait. Okay, let me put full stop. Then I can say another wait another. We are going to tell the person to wait maybe some 2 or 4 years or 5 years. But how do we know the number of years the person is supposed to wait? That's when we go back to the person's age. What did the person input? So we are going to subtract that from a particular number to tell the person that wait this number of years. Are you okay? So we are saying that wait. Let me put a space here so that after another, then a space comes before the next message. So wait another maybe age 18. What should the logic be? I think it should be Rather 18 minus the person's age. Are you okay? That's the legal age is 18 and above. So let's take 18 minus the person's what age that he or she what inputted. Are you following? So that will give you the person's what number of years the person is supposed to wait. Do you understand? So wait another this calculation here. Maybe the person inputted 17. That means that the person is waiting 1 year. So wait another. So the outcome here will be 1. Please, are you following?
I'm a little bit confused over here.
I'm saying, let me start it from here. I'm saying that if the person is not of legal age, okay,
Yeah, I've
it's a year,
that one there. I've
okay,
understand. I've
then
understood.
we should
But
show this message to the person. We are saying that sorry, you are not of legal age to drive. Then the person's name, okay. Wait another. I want to tell the person the number of years he or she is supposed to wait before he or she will be of legal age to come back and try again.
okay,
Right?
okay,
But the legal age that is there, the standard legal age that is there for the person is what 18 years. Every person to be able to drive is 18 and above. Are you okay?
okay,
But
okay.
because the person is not of legal age, that means the person has not meet 18 and above. He or she is lesser than that.
Mm.
Please, are you following? So
Okay.
to
But
show the person that
okay, I want to ask if you are able, if you are going to run the code, maybe it will not tell you that you didn't declare that 18 minus age or something like
oh no, this is calculation. We are imagine
that.
I just want to see out 18 minus something. Maybe I want to see out 18 minus 2. I just come out and I say see out. I don't have to declare memory location for that one. You
Uh,
understand? I can just say
yeah.
see out 18, all right, minus 2. All right. Now I terminate my code. It will calculate this thing and show me the answer. That's what we are
Okay.
doing here. Do you understand? So
Okay.
it's just going to do the calculation and show us the answer. Like as if all the let's just not focus on all this part. It's like we are just directly saying see out
Mhm.
18 minus the age that has been stored by the person. Are you following?
Okay. Okay.
You get it now? Yeah. So we
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
seeing now. So wait another maybe there can be a condition whereby if the person enters maybe 16, he or she is waiting for 2 years per the calculation. two
Okay.
years. But if the person enters 17, he or she has to wait for 1 year. Are you following? So the
Yeah. Yeah.
message when somebody is also 17 has to be created differently because we can't say wait 1 years. Are you following?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's create the condition for when the person maybe enters something lesser than 17. Okay, that one will be years. Okay, so wait another, then the calculation goes on. Then I come here and say yes and try again. Yes, I'm supposed to write yes here. Sorry. Yes and try again. Okay. Then we can say thank you. Hello. Thank you. Then a new line, maybe a just sorry, backward slash n, backward slash n. Then I terminate that C out line of code. Are you okay? So now as I stated, else if again, we are going to use another else if again because it can be that the person is right behind 17, 18 years, and we can't see 18 years, so we can't say wait another 1 years. The message has to be different. Are you okay? So that one will be wait another 1 year. Okay, so if we are saying that for the second time, we are saying that if the person is a male, it's not of legal age, all right, is a male and is not married, okay. But when we did the calculation, we realized that the person's um what do we call it? The person's the calculation outcomes that the person just has to wait a year. Now we have to create a condition for that. All right. So that's where do we put our conditions here? So we say and all right. Are you following? And we are creating a condition for that special case whereby the person's age all right, or the person's legal age. Remember, we said that legal age should be this, right? So we can say that and legal age or we can just say an age. Okay, we can just say an age, the person's age is equal to maybe age. I don't want you to get confused, but I want it to be something logical. So let's just use legal age. If the person legal age, okay, if we are saying legal age, let me just go back and then see what I did there, just to make it simple for you. I don't want to confuse you. I did something here. I'm trying to get access to it. Good. I especially did one for that. Okay, good. This is it. This is the condition I created for it. Let me just copy it and put it here for you. And let's see if we can follow. Oh, good. Let's continue. Sorry about that. Now let's look at what is going on here. I'm saying that if 18 minus age is equal to 1, if 18 years or the number 18 minus the age of the person, when compare, we are doing comparison. Remember, we are not assigning, we are doing comparison here. And if we do a calculation called 18 minus the person's age, and the answer we get here at this part of the thing is 1, and we compare it here and we see that it's also 1, which is making this thing true. Are we following? Please, I'm sure by now like there's some confusion going on there. I don't.
Yeah.
Let's take our time. Let's take our time and digest it. I'm saying that we are just creating conditions. The condition is saying that is the person of legal age? No, the person is not of legal age. Is the person a male? Yes, and the person is a male. Is the person married? And the person is not married. But when you do this calculation with the person's age, they are saying that if, remember, we are not assigning anything in the argument. Too. In the argument, we don't assign anything. We just do comparison. Are we okay? We are comparing that 18 years, 18, that's the legal age, minus the age the person will input. Is it the same as 1? Are you seeing what I'm seeing right here? Is it the same as 1? If so, then this part of the thing is known to be true. And remember, we're using end logic, so everything has to be true. Are you following?
Yes. Yeah.
So now the outcome will be wait another, then the calculation goes on when the person is 17 years, so 18 minus 7 is 17 is equal to 1. So wait another 1 year. Do you understand? And try again. But remember, this condition, all this condition has to be true. So let's just go and then play around with it and then see how it goes. Okay, should we?
Yeah. We have to do that. See whether.
Okay, so so far we have done so many things here. So let's just go and then run it. This, frankly speaking, this carry bracket is supposed to come down here. So let me just bring it where it's supposed to be. All right, let's go and execute and compile and run. All right. Oh, sorry, I've opened this one. Sorry, let me close this one first. Sorry. But they said something here. They said before string content, error of something. Let me run it again. I think there's a place a bracket where I'm not supposed to put a bracket. Let me close that. Okay, it just went away by itself. Okay, let's compile. So I see the error again. Let's compile and run. It's something I didn't see. They said that if this is this, sorry, he said if marital status is marital status is this marital status is this married, or marital status is this, or marital status is this. Expected this before string. Yeah, I don't see what is going on here. Please, is anybody seeing it? Can you help us in this part of the code? I'm seeing if marital status is this, marital status is this, or marital status is this. I'm sure I placed everything correctly in quotation marks. Or married. Wait. Normally the quote, the error can come before it. Oh, I've seen it. Sorry, I didn't. Oh no, everything is fine here. This is the closing of it, and everything too is in the argument. I don't know what's going on here. Place everything in string, in string, in string. Marital status, spelled right throughout because I just copied and paste. Oh, sorry. Please, I didn't put my comparison here. Sorry. Please, have you all seen the error?
Yeah.
I didn't put my comparison there. All right, sorry about that. Let's try again to see if we will not come across any other error. I'm not sure we will. I'm not sure we will. Yeah. All right, now let's make this big and then let's go. Okay, so I input my name. Okay. Remember, we've just done for males, so we are just working with males now. Are we okay? So I'm just going to choose male. No offense to females here, please. For now, we've coded for males, so let's just work with the male. Okay, so I just input male like this. Okay, then for the male, we are toggling between the which part of the marital status? Single,
Married.
right? Is
Married.
that married?
No,
Okay,
it's
let's do
married.
married.
Yeah.
Let's do married first. Okay, so married. Okay, how old are you? I said 17, right? I should work with 17. Should work with 17.
No, let's just do it 18. Oh,
Is it
I said let's work with 18. 18 years.
18? Okay, wait. Mm, okay then. All right, let's do it again. There's something wrong here. Okay. All right, everything is fine. Everything is fine here. All right, everything is fine. Let's go. The messages are not being seen out. Man, let me just work with this one. Male. Married. We said married, right? Then let's work with 18. Okay, so working with the 18, it came as welcome, Mr. Felix Freeman Asante. We are glad to have you at our driving school. You are of legal age to drive. Good luck. Please, are you following? So it's not like as if the other parts of the codes were not really existing. All right, they were not executed because of the based on the user's was input. Are we okay?
Okay.
It's plenty. It's cumbersome in front of it. Everybody on this one. Sorry about that. Okay, I think time is even now. Let's just try and then get the logic behind why this message was rather printed out for us. And I think you'll be fine. So let me just put this one here like this. I don't know why I always don't get my coding environment when I do this, unless I come and do this. Okay, let's do this here. All right. We can see that obviously we can see that this condition was rather executed. This one, the first one, welcome Mr. Freeman, because why? The condition, the argument here ended up to be true. First of all, I chose legal age, so I'm of legal age because we are saying that legal age is only true when we do this comparison, and whereas that the age I entered should be greater than or equal to 18, and it was equal to 18, so that's what I entered. So then it assigned true to this. Remember, this thing is not a value, it's just doing comparison because of the presence of this, and this can only be true or false. So it came out to be true based on what I inputted and assigned true to this container. So as it is working with the fact that this container is holding a true now because of what I inputted. Now let's come back to here. We are saying that if this is true, which is true, this is true because I'm a male. That's what I chose. I chose for male. I chose male. This is it. So that part is also true. Okay, let's go back to it. So I'm a male, right? And I'm saying that either I'm married or I'm not married. It does not really matter. So I chose married, right? So all these conditions here were met, and then with the use of this end operator, all of them were true individually. So then this part of the code was executed for me. Are you okay? For me to see out this. Are we following? That's why the welcome, Mr. Fiman, because all the conditions here were rather met, and none of these ones were met. Are you okay? It was only this one that was met. So that's what was executed. As somebody can sit behind the machine and will not be of legal age, okay, but will be a male and will not be married. Should we try that one too and see?
Yeah, let's try the other alternatives and see.
Okay. So let's try that one too and see. Sorry about that. There we go. We are choosing what male for now. Let's just use M because we created the possibility of using all these things. Okay, so M has been stored in the container gender now. Then marital status, I said the person is not married. Okay, so I can even choose divorce because remember, it's not married can either be single or divorced. Do you understand? Then how old are you? Maybe I'm 17. I'm not of okay. Let's just use maybe 16. Okay, so you can see the message has been printed that sorry, you are not of legal age to drive. Then my name followed. Okay, wait another 2 years. See that the calculation has been done. Wait another 2 years and try again. Thank you. Do you see it? So let's go and appreciate what went on here. We can see here that this part of the code was what was executed. So what was the condition? That I was not of legal age, which is true because I entered 16. I was a male. I chose M, so I was a male. And then I was not also married because I chose divorced. Okay, so I was not married. Are we okay? So then it printed out this message to me that sorry, I am not of legal age to drive. All right, and then my full name what followed afterwards. Then it came with another, then the calculation was done. All right, then to display that result, okay, then it came along with this one too, as simple as that. I hope we understand that one too. Should we try the last one to see how it will work like?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
means that,
Can we do the 17 years so that we will see the year to the 1 year to.
yeah, sorry, I think I don't know why I was cleaning it. Okay, let's continue. So we are going to see this else if also here. Okay, and this is going to check if the person is not of legal age, but he is a male and the person is not married. And we're also going to check if the person's age, we are going to do a comparison here, and the comparison is going to be with the fact that we are going to compare this and this. We are comparing this and this. So I wish yeah, let me just open up that one again. Let me go to desktop. I think I saved it here and it is here rather. This is it. All right. Let me enlarge this one because this one everything was I tried explaining everything in comments so you really understand it. I want to focus on only the male part then because that's what we are speaking. Okay, here's it. Good. So we can see here that it's literally the same thing. I'm saying that whether the person is married or is not married. So that was what was executed. Here I'm saying that if the person is not of legal age, but he's a male, and we compare and we say that hey, you over there, your age minus 18. What when I do that calculation, your age that you entered minus 18, will it be left with 1? Compare. It's comparing here. If it will be left with 1 here, and it compares and it is indeed 1, the same as 1, all right, then what happens is that this particular code is what is executed. Do you understand? So I can copy this one, right, and then come and paste it here so that we just follow. But we can still use the old one that we are having there. It's still not anything, so it's not necessary that I actually copy. Let me close this thing first. Otherwise, it's a project. I saved it as a project, so it's going to. So that's what I've done here. I'm saying that it has to be because I'm using end. That's why I'm using a sentence. It has to be. So that means every single thing inside this bracket must be true. So it has to be that I am not of legal age. I am a male. I am not married. And all right, the subtraction of my age from 18 should be the same as 1 before this thing is what executed. So let's do this. Let's compile it, man. All right, then let's see how it goes. Okay, so my name as usual, which I really don't like typing. Sorry about that. My name as usual. Okay, then I'm supposed to be a male, so let me just use M. Then I'm not supposed to be married, so I can use S for single. All right, then I use 17. Please. Oh, I think wait another 1 years. Sorry, you are not of legal age. Wait another 1 years and try again. I think what did we do here? There's a mistake here because it's still executing this part. Wait, it chose this part. It chose this part rather. Sorry. Let's go back to the one I did to see if we can correct the mistake we are looking at. Oh, we didn't add whether the person is married or it shouldn't be. So it's focusing on the fact that the person is not. Sorry, I think I see where the mistake is coming from. That's why it keeps running that one rather. So let's go and look at it. We can see that clearly. We just said that and the person must not be married. So it's focusing on the fact that I must not be married. You understand? And here we say that and the person must not be married again. So we must do the person must not be married, and the person is either the person is married or not married. Are you following? Because if it's focusing on the fact that I must not be married alone, all right, then it's going to be looking at this aspect. If it's focusing on the fact that I must not be married alone, but if it's focusing on the fact that I'm either married or not married, based on the condition we created for not married here, that means that when I enter single, it only focuses on this. When I enter it, so let's just put that one inside and you see what I'm talking about. Right, I copied it, so let me just control V here. All right, then let's explain what's going on here. So I must not be of legal age. I must be a male here. All right, this logic must be met, and I must either be married or not married. I must either be married or not married. All right, even though it's clear that I'm not of legal age. All right, but anyway, we can decide to clear it if we want, because I must not be married. In the previous one, I think I failed to do this, so let's execute it and run it again. Hey, sorry, double brackets, sorry. So the name comes in again. I really don't. Like, let me just end it here. I must be a male. I must be single, and I must be 17 years old. I don't know why this thing keeps running only the years aspect. Okay, so it keeps running only the. Please, can you see my screen? I think it has stopped sharing my
No,
screen.
no, we can't see your screen.
Okay, let me share it. I think it has stopped sharing. Share screen. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see that.
I'm still focusing on this aspect and leaving this part out for the reason I don't, because I said end here, so it means that everything here must be true before this thing is run. And age minus this, let me check it up again. Okay, and age minus this, 18 minus age must be the same as 1. When this mathematics is performed, it must be. That's the same logic I've written here. But with this one, it will run just fine. I don't know why the other one is doing that. Let me compile and run this one to see. All right, let's try this one and see. Freeman. Okay. Male or female? I'm choosing male. Marital status, I'm choosing single. How old are you? I'm choosing 17. You can see very clear that it shows 1 year. Can you see it? It shows the 1 year aspect. I don't know why that one is choosing years. It keeps focusing on the years. There's a mistake somewhere, but I hope you get the logic I'm trying to create here. Hello. Oh, I've not checked how
Yes,
many
sir.
people. Okay, so that is you can play around. You can do the same logic for female. And remember, we didn't create the fact that what other condition can we create for a male? I think we have created all the conditions for the male. I think we have created for the title of a male, whether the person is married or not. Because for us, whether you are married or not, the only thing that will deter you from having the title Mister is if you are not of legal age. So I think this one that we have met every condition here. But so we can create one for the female. The female, let me give you a hint. The female can be in this way. It can be that the person is because they have two names, Miss and Mrs. All right, Miss for somebody who is not married, and then Mrs. for somebody who is married. Okay, so the Mrs. should have this own logic. So it can be like that she should be married, she should be of legal age. All right, and then what else? She should be a female. All right, and the only way she will be a female is when its male is false. So you should write it this way: it's not a male. Are you following? Like it should be in this format. Right, this means that the person is a female. Are you following? Because we said that if the person enters any, where is it? Okay, where is it? It's supposed to be down here somewhere. Okay, if the person enters F, that's all this representing female. That is when is female is false. Is male is false. Are you okay? So it means that if you say that the person is not a male, that means that you are saying that is male should not be true, but it should be false. That means that the person entered this. Are you following? So you can try that one for the female, all right? And then all the logic. So we can do it here. I think I did this. I did it here for the females as well. So I said logic to decide greeting for a female. I said that if she's of legal age, she's a female. That's what I've done here, and she's married. Then we are using Mrs. for her name. Okay. But if she's of legal age, she's a female, and she's not married, we are using Miss for her name. If she's not of legal age, she's a female, and then the subtraction of her ages is the same as the subtraction of her age from legal age, which is 18, from a legal age is the same as 1. Then we should tell her that she should wait 1 year. All right. Then I also finally said that if she's not of legal age and she's a female, all right, because she's not of legal age, she still has the name Miss. Okay, and then I use her name, then I tell her that she's not of legal age, then I do subtraction with her age again and tell her to wait that number of years. Are you okay? So that is the same. So I'll just copy. What was I supposed to put in a premium page? This one or what? Yeah, I remember what it is now. So I'll put that one inside. Should I add the code as well? Should I copy and paste the code as well?
Yeah, the code they have to add it so that.
Okay, so let me do that real quick. Let me just put that on before I forget. Let me do that now because we have exhausted more than we should the time. Okay, so let me just put that there. Yeah, let me just put that here. Oh, yeah, I hope it's everything. No, because no, it's not everything. It didn't select everything. Yeah, it didn't select everything. Okay, let me do the control plus A again. Then let me do a copy of it, direct copy of it. Then let me paste it again. Now it has done it. This is me trying to explain escape sequence. Sorry about that. Alright, I think this is the code. So I've sent the place the code in, and I think I was supposed to add a file also for my documents. I'm supposed to add a file for my documents. I think it's this one. Steady note. Copy this and copy it. Right. Let me see if I paste it here like that. It will work. Yeah, it will work. There you go. So I've placed everything inside. Alright. I think there's no questions, and even if there is, I don't think I can unmute you for it. So I'm sure people had questions today, but it's quite unfortunate. I'm not able to unmute anybody. So let's have a good night. And if you have any questions, you can DM me. All right. And I'll attend to you. All right. Have a good night.